Week 7 of our picks. It was I'm not gonna lie. The boy is hot. 10-4 last week on picks against the spread. An absolute pull of the century on the mortal lock for Titans minus 3.5. I needed about 15,000 things to go my way in the last 2 minutes of regulation and overtime, and they all went right. So I'm happy.
Can I just say, I was pulling for you so hard, and that was because it was pre-Packers game.
Right.
If not, I would have been completely against you.
Right. Yeah.
Alas.
Super fair.
And I also have another theory that we're all lab monkeys and we can't outperform a coin, but that's just me. So
yeah, the coin went a hard 7-7, as one would expect a coin to do. We all beat the coin though. I'd like to welcome on our special guest for the week, Mr. Alex Eiden. How are we doing, Alex?
Hey there, boys. I'm so happy to be here. Couldn't even begin to tell you how excited I am to be on this pod.
Oh, love to hear that. Curry, how's the
your competition? Your competition right now is a coin, Alex. So no pressure.
That's fine. I beat coins asses every night.
Yeah,
I got this.
I ate coins for breakfast. Curry, how's the fake ankle injury?
It's fine. I'm elevating it right now.
Yeah, can we get a view of the ankle? Is that too much to ask the people? We want to give the audience a sneak peek of what your ankle looks like.
Can you see it?
Not bad.
Ankle cam? There we go.
Fake.
That's ankle cam.
So fake.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's totally fake.
Okay.
Just go into this slate. I'm over this fake ankle story.
Eyeliner on my ankle.
If you want to hear the full story, episode 3 of our podcast.
Great reviews, even though everyone hated Curry's take, but great reviews otherwise, and they love the ankle story. So please give it a listen.
Jesse's the only shark to not invest. I don't know why he's hating on anything. Coward.
Give it a listen. Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For that plug.
Jesse's a Chinese bot.
Yeah. But we are on a timeline again, so let's jump straight into picks. We have Thursday night football. New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. I think the Eagles are a step above the rest in this division. Not a very good division. I think they are mediocre and the rest are absolute garbage. So give me the Eagles with 4.5 points. I do believe this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I'm going to put a few shekels on the under. But the Eagles are better than the Giants, I think. Giants sneaky good defense, as Jesse mentioned last week.
Yeah, the Giants heartbreakingly didn't cover my mortal lock. I blame that more on Riverboat Ron going for 2 than anything because I do believe the Giants would have pulled it out in overtime. But with that being said, to your point about the Eagles being a step above the pile of shit known as the NFC East, it's a step above. They're still shit, but like you said, it's a step above. Give me the Eagles minus 4.5 here. They're getting some weapons back. I say that every week like it means something, but I'll take it and buy it.
Right. Well, they lost weapons too. So they lost Ertz.
Stinks.
Down Miles Sanders. So now we have two hurt bad offenses versus 2 okay to mid defenses. So kind of like Sam said, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. The over-unders at a dangerously low, like 45 or something like that.
Yeah, 44 and
still
a half.
Take the under. Yeah, I'd still take the under, honestly. But I think that Carson Wentz is good enough for some second half heroics for them to cover. And for my sanity, I'm going to have to pick the Philadelphia Eagles.
You guys are using a lot of analytics and actual football knowledge here, and that's just not how I roll my game. That's not how I roll my dice.
I thought we used none, so damn, you really must be flipping.
Yeah, that pick was completely hard overhead.
I'm going. I picked every one of these spreads with gut feeling. That's how I roll. That's how I bet, and I don't bet well. But I'll tell you, the NFC East is just so disastrous and disgusting, and I hate looking at it so much. And you say the Eagles are a step ahead, but I don't know how far ahead that step actually is. I'm having the Giants cover.
Okay. You guys should
That's
be
a
glad.
good sign for you,
glad
though.
there's no
Fade the
solidarity.
crowd.
Yeah.
No, the Giants solidarity pick I think is like 3-0. So
Yeah, that's actually a lock. I would lock that America.
Yeah.
Great
So
pick by you.
Curry, Jesse, and I taking the Eagles. Alex taking the Giants. Next, we have the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Bills are 12-point favorites. Whatever. I'm taking the Bills, but I do want it. I do want it on record. I said on Monday. Jesse and Curry can vouch for this. I said that before the memes start coming in, I want it on record that Trevor Lawrence is staying in college for his senior year. And within 48
be out of front
hours,
of the narrative.
within 48 hours, I got 3 people send me that picture of like a screenshot of the quote from Roddy White saying Trevor Lawrence is staying in college. Within 48 hours of that happening. So the memes are already starting. I think it would be dumb for him to go back to college. If he doesn't want to play for the Jets, he should request a trade. Otherwise, the Jets are just going to pick him in 2022.
They're going to get back-to-back.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Going 0 for 82.
Oh, God.
Minus 12, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, Bills minus 12. Honestly, it's a really inflated line. I don't even love picking the Bills here, but the Jets
every week.
I say it every week, but I make a ton of money on betting against the Jets. Hypothetical money because I don't actually do it, but Bills minus 12 here, and I don't love it.
I don't love it either, but I have to go Bills just out of fear of picking the Jets and then having them get blown out by 25 points. Then it's like, then you look back and you're like, why the fuck did I pick the Jets? Like, what was I on to pick the Jets? So I think
you feel like the biggest schmuck of all time. If you do that.
Exactly. To keep me from being a schmuck, I don't want to like outsmart myself, by picking the Jets. So I have to go Bills. I think they're actually good enough. I don't actually hate the line. It's inflated a little bit, but I think anything shy of 14.5, I would take. So give me the Bills.
Yeah. I actually forgot to do this with my last pick, but I have little helmets here to show who I'm picking. So I picked the Toes.
Shit.
Love the props.
I always come prepared to this one thing. You know how you guys said somehow the Eagles were like a step ahead of the NFC East. Well, the Jets are 250 steps behind the AFC East and the entire NFL. Sorry, Sam, RIP. When I actually made my picks 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago yesterday, the Bills were actually a 13.5-point favorite.
Yep.
So I have that. And I have the Bills covering 13.5 points. And if you want to go ahead and make that my mortal lock of the week, you can.
Oh,
wow.
Mortal lock on the Bills.
The big
-12.
mortal lock number.
Someone had to do it. I'm surprised no one's done it yet. Why have we not mortal locked against the Jets yet this year?
6 against the
It's psychotic.
I didn't want to mush your Jets. I don't want to pick against your Jets and then have them
and then you don't get the first pick.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
You feel the juju of mortal locking against the Jets would just work against you.
Yeah.
I guess.
If I mortal locked against the Jets would win outright. Like,
yeah.
And that'd be a loss for everyone, honestly.
Exactly.
So we're all taking the Bills minus 12. Alex's mortal lock is the Bills minus 12. Lock it in. Throw the key away.
Lock it in.
Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Saints are 7.5-point favorites. I feel like a lot of people are going to take the Panthers here. They're coming off they've looked a lot better than people thought they would. We say that every week. Saints are coming off a bye. They're not going to have Michael Thomas, though. They are at home. I don't know how much that matters, but give me the Saints minus 7.5. I think this is where they're going to kind of hit their stride in the season. If Drew Brees' arm doesn't fall off, although Jameis would be a nice replacement. But give me the Saints minus 7.5 here.
Yeah, I'm a big math guy, as you know. You score 1 touchdown equals 7 points. I hate the fact that you have to cover more than 1 touchdown here. We'll give them the extra point because I love their kicker. Shout out Will Lutz. I think it's almost a guaranteed 7 points for them. But I hate the fact when you have to cover more than a touchdown and the team has a 42-year-old quarterback. I think it actually might be 41. Both of those facts have to happen for you to hit the Saints here. So because of that, I'm taking Carolina. Too much room for a garbage time cover. 7.5 is my least favorite line in gambling. And Michael Thomas is most likely going to be out. So because of all those factors, I'm taking Carolina.
Fun fact, Tom Brady is 43. Before Curry gets to that, I just want to get that in there.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, give me Carolina as well. Jesse kind of stole what I was going to say. Again, if Michael Thomas doesn't play, I feel like that's a huge factor. But in the eyes of the public, I think it is. But like Drew Brees, it's not like he's a guy who's going to stretch the field. All he does is run like 12-yard outs and get first downs. He's going to lean a lot on Alvin Kamara. I think the Panthers are just, again, they're that team that on paper stinks, but they manage to stay competitive in these kinds of games. So I don't think they lose by more than a touchdown. So give me the Panthers.
Yeah. Saints are coming off rest. I know they don't have Michael Thomas, but I know in the past that hasn't necessarily mattered before because that's a well-oiled machine when it wants to work. I think the Saints are angry because of all the negative attention they're getting. I think the Panthers are better than we think they are, but they're still pretty bad. So give me the New Orleans Saints to cover 7.5.
Where'd you get these helmets, by the way? I'm very curious.
Where did I get these? I think I got them from their Riddell brand. I think I got them from a Riddell sports shop in like Buffalo, like 10 years ago.
That sounds right.
Shout out Western New York. You have to call that Western New York. I learned that this week. If you call it upstate New York, they get very pissed.
All right,
Western New York.
They
shout out
you
to that
table,
person.
Actually.
We have Alex and I on the Saints,
exactly.
and Jesse and Curry, the brutal access on the Panthers. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. I just want to mention there's 14 games this week, 7 road favorites. Just something to keep in mind. Cleveland Browns at Cincinnati Bengals. Browns are 3.5-point favorites. I think we're starting to get a read on the Browns. We will be, by the end of season, the podcast that was ahead of the game on the Browns, thanks to Mark DeCesar. Not any of our doing. They're analytics heavy. They looked bad last week because Baker had to throw. I don't think they're going to be able to put in a position where Baker's going to have to throw this week against the Bengals. They're going to run all over them. Give me the Browns 3.5 pretty confidently.
Love that pick by you. Also taking the Browns here. Pray for Joe Burrow's life. Myles Garrett will eat him alive. I don't know how Joe Burrow hasn't left the game yet. He's actually might be made of titanium or something else, but definitely taking the Browns here. They're just going to have a big day against the lowly Bengals.
Mortal lock, Cleveland Browns to cover. Lock it in. All right. I think the Cleveland Browns, they're trying to like rebrand themselves. So they have like this swagger about them now. You know, they were kind of explosive at the beginning of the year, and then last week they just got the crap kicked out of them. And so they have like this attitude, and I think they're just going to come out and absolutely shit pump the Bengals. Joe Burrow. Lock it up.
See, my thing with the Browns is I want them to be good. Sam, I think you know this pretty well. I was always on the Baker bandwagon. Well, I'm officially off the Baker bandwagon.
Oh,
for good.
That's a big move.
For good. Wow.
For good. I mean, he can redeem himself, but I'm off. I won't say for good, but I'll say until he redeems himself, I'm off the Baker bandwagon.
Yeah.
Till later.
I think the Browns' best game was obviously against the Cowboys, and I mean their offense looked great because they could run the ball, and the defense for the Cowboys is booty. And I think, as opposed to the Panthers, where they actually look good than they actually are, I think the Bengals look worse than they actually are. And I think Joey B's going to tear up that Cleveland defense, so give me the Bengals plus 3.5.
Okay. So we have everyone but Alex taking the Browns. Curry's mortal lock, the Browns minus 3.5. Mortal lock's not looking great from the Curry side this year. He is 2-4 on the season.
Panic pick.
Next we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team. Cowboys are 1-point favorites. I feel like everyone in the world's taking the Cowboys here. People still think they're good, despite like much empirical evidence to disprove that. I really would have a tough time taking Washington football team in any game this year, especially a 1-point cover for them. So give me the Cowboys, but I'm not confident in that at all. They stink. They're really bad at football.
Sorry, this is Washington is +1 to clarify?
Yes.
Yeah, so Washington +1. I love this. I think that heavy money move the Dallas line.
Then they cover.
Yes.
Correct. This is a textbook tie if I've ever seen. I think they just put the
You're not
odds
wrong.
for a tie at
The
like
fuck
40 to
matters?
1.
Whatever.
Yeah, should I bet on a tie?
Why not throw
Yeah.
40 to 1? You can 40 to 1, do it. But with all that being said, public money moved this line from Washington -1 to Washington +1.
I did see that.
So the fact that I get the tie now is a huge benefit. But even if the tie doesn't come into play, I think they win this outright. Dallas is pathetic. They're calling out Mike McCarthy. They say he's unprepared. They say he sucks. Much like his last couple years in Green Bay, the players hated him there as well. And then not much hope for the Washington football team end, but I'm taking this line solely out of my dislike for watching the Cowboys play football. They're a disgrace to the game.
Switch me on to Washington real quick. Switch me on to Washington. Their defensive line against that Cowboys offensive line right now is going to be a problem. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm also gonna get. Geez, Sam. I'm also gonna go Washington.
Oh, why do we love each other's picks this week?
Right, Alex. This normally doesn't happen, but we're on the same page. Like, I kind of hate it that we're on the same wavelength, we're on the same frequency, and it sucks because this is just doom and gloom for our picks.
We're going
Give me
2-12
Washington
this week. Lock.
Yeah, no, I think the Cowboys stink. They kind of got exposed last week. It's like, oh, Andy Dalton, he used to be a good quarterback, but now he's not, and he never really was. So give me Washington. Doesn't matter. They're just going to run the ball over the shitty Cowboys defense. Cowboys can't block. They got 5 Reggie Rays on the O-line. I could go on and on, but give me the Redskins. Not Redskins. Give me the Washington football team.
Oh,
Docs.
Redact.
Last week for that.
So
We gotta start going to bleeps.
my initial thinking on this game was that it's so close. I mean, any Cowboys win is a cover. And I think this is kind of like a Zeke redemption game because they're going to run the ball a lot. And Zeke would just run for like 180 on them or some shit like that. But you've convinced me otherwise. So instead of a Zeke breakout game, it's going to be a Terry McLaurin breakout game against that shitty Cowboys defense.
Terry.
So give me the Washington Redacteds.
Yeah.
Covering the logos.
You don't want to see what's on there.
Thank you. I don't want to get sued.
We'd have to
You don't want to see what's on the other side. Okay, we're all taking the
You'd
Washington.
have it up there and then just blur it out later.
Center it out.
We are all taking the Washington Redacteds, unfortunately, +1. Jesse, probably very happy to hear that scary Terry McLaurin news from Alex that he's going to pop off.
Yes, I need it.
Hate him in college. Don't hate him now.
To fantasy.
Same with Zeke Elliott. They're both Ohio State guys.
Yeah. Next, we have the Detroit Lions at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are 2-point favorites. Falcons got their 1 week interim coach boost last week against Alex's Minnesota Vikings. I don't know. Give me the Falcons. I feel like I always like the Falcons more than I should and dislike Detroit more than I should. So I'm just going to roll with that because I'm hot. So Atlanta Falcons -2.
Damn.
So I think Minnesota's in this game if Kirk Cousins doesn't throw 3 interceptions in the first half.
Minnesota's not playing.
Minnesota's not.
Yeah,
in this
no,
game.
I'm saying I know. Get to my point. I'm saying because of all that being said, I think that Matt Stafford can throw a lot more touchdowns, be a lot more efficient than Kirk Cousins was last week. And I think that the Falcons are still going to have a little trouble back-to-back asking them to put up points like that. I mean, it's just not going to work. I'm done buying into the Falcons, and I have Detroit love from earlier in the week. So to put it simply, Detroit +2.
Give me the Falcons here. I think their offense is finally starting to put it together to some degree. I think they're figuring out hey, Julio is still really, really good. Let's just get the ball in his hands. Their defense is not great, but not terrible. Again, Matt Stafford likes to air the ball out. So as long as they just don't limit those big home run plays, they'll be all right. So give me the Falcons.
I can speak from personal experience that the only reason the Falcons offense looked so good last week was because the Vikings had junior varsity players out on the secondary. Because it was mostly rookies anyway, and then half of them were hurt last week. So while I do think the Atlanta offense is pretty good, I mean, they've got a lot of weapons. Obviously, Julio and Calvin Ridley and Todd Gurley, that's the running back. And Matt Ryan's obviously still a gunslinger, but I think they look so good because they were playing against such a porous defense. And I think they're going to be exposed against, I guess, a better defense in Detroit. I don't know if it's amazing, but it's definitely better than the sponge cake that was Minnesota. So give me the Detroit Lions to cover.
Damn.
Roar.
Shout out Jason Cabinda, fullback of the Lions, listener of the pod. Not really, but we'll get him. No,
we'll get him on as a guest.
We'll get him.
He's the one that swatted the ball away from Hawkinson, and Mark freaked out.
Mark said some regrettable things there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Curry and I taking the Falcons, Jesse and Alex taking the Lions. Next we have Alex's Green Bay Packers at the Houston Texans. Packers.
Hell yeah.
Packers are 3.5-point favorites. I'll let Curry tell his story about the Packers when we get to him, but I like the Packers a lot here, 3.5. Houston's not good. Packers big bounce back game. Give me the Packers 3.5.
I think this is going to be a public darling line. I think everyone and their mother is going to be on the Packers, much like last week. That's asking a lot for them to cover back-to-back public darling games. Because of that logic, I'm going to take the Texans here. Deshaun's looking better and better every week, so give me the Texans.
So last week, the Packers broke my heart like I knew they would. Like I made the pick on Thursday. By Friday, I was convinced it was the pick of the year. Saturday, the whole day, I was so convinced that there was no way that they could lose that game. And then by Saturday night, I just knew it in my soul that the Bucs were going to win. I knew it. Like if there was one thing in the world that I knew, it was that the Bucs were absolutely beating the Packers. And of course they did. Of course they went out to a 10-0 lead and then let up 38 unanswered points. Of course they did. Like, even as I watched the game, I was like, there's no way the Packers are winning. Like, there's no way. So I'm going to pick the Packers because right now I'm at that Thursday high where I'm like, this line is great. It's a public line, and I'm going to fall for it like I do every week. Public darling line, I should say. So give me the Packers, and let's see where I'm at on Saturday night.
Speaking as the Vikings – residential Vikings fan, I can speak of experience of both the Texans and the Packers. If this line it's 3.5 when I picked it. If it was 7.5, it was 10.5, it was 14.5, 13.5. I don't care. I'm taking the Packers. The Texans have just everything wrong except for Deshaun Watson. They can't even seem to get him right. They have everything wrong with them. The Packers, yes, they kind of blew it against the Bucs, but the Bucs are better than. I think they were overblown to start, and now I think they're back to like a place where they're better than people think because the expectations were way down. I'm taking the Packers. Huge.
Oh, you have the Packers, Solomon. Why do you even have that? We have Jesse taking the Texans. Everyone else taking the Packers. Next, we have Pittsburgh Steelers at Tennessee Titans. Titans 1.5-point favorites. This is a big contender show yourself game, I'd say. I like the Steelers more. I think they're more contenders than the Titans. Titans are going to have a tough time running the ball against the Steelers despite having an absolute truck in the backfield. Give me the Steelers plus 1.5. Don't give me the Steelers plus points against anyone besides like the Ravens or the Chiefs. So give me the Steelers plus 1.5.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are a little overrated here. My lowly Eagles were in it till the bitter end with them, and I think they're having some injury concerns, mainly Devin Bush. He's a beast. Sad to see him go, but I love to watch him leave. I mean, not really. I couldn't care either way, but because of that,
Okay,
we're going to be taking the Titans here. Titans minus 1.5. Derrick Henry, he's going to start getting going, and it's scary for the rest of the AFC.
Yeah, give me the Titans as well. I mean, like you said, Jesse. I mean, Derrick Henry kind of already is going. Like we kind of saw that last week.
Inertia.
He didn't do enough.
Buy into the
yeah,
inertia.
he's a big body. A lot of momentum with Derrick Henry. Forcing
Takes a while for him to get going.
But kind of what Sam said, like, oh, like Steelers run defense very good. Like the Titans are going to have to throw the ball. Like, they've been really good when they've thrown the ball. Titans have. Like, I feel like they kind of shed that identity of like a run-first team. It's more of like, hey, like we can throw the ball too, but then we can also get a comfortable lead and feed Derrick Henry, or from behind, majestically cover in overtime, like whatever. So give me the Titans again. I don't think this game will be as close as it was last week. I think they will win comfortably, to be honest.
I have to disagree with that win comfortably statement because I think this is one of the most evenly matched matches of the year. I mean, just by the line, it's 1.5. I mean, you can't get much more even than that. I mean, aside from two shitty teams like, I don't know, Cowboys and Washington. So,
for example,
just a crazy throw-out example. I had actually originally had the Steelers here, but listening to you guys and thinking about it more, the Titans just have a balanced attack on offense. They can throw the ball. A.J. Brown's a beast, and obviously Derrick Henry is.
That's true. A.J. Brown is a beast.
And I think the run game for the Steelers hasn't been as amazing as many would expect. I love James Conner. Great story, and I like him a lot. But I'm sorry. So I'm going to go with I'm actually going to flip, and I was going to do the Steelers plus 1.5, but I'm actually going to go with the Titans with the old helmet. Plus
the fresh white helmet.
I'm on an island with the Steelers here.
I
was not expecting to be on an island for the Steelers, but here we are.
You almost weren't.
Yeah, I think
you weren't gonna be.
Yeah, I think it's funny that the one Texas shootout the Titans have had this year was when Derrick Henry ran for a bunch instead of. They also threw well, but I think it's funny that his one breakout game wasn't a shootout. Next we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Las Vegas Raiders. Initially it was supposed to be Sunday Night Football, but got moved to 4:05 because of COVID flexibility or something. Bucs are 4-point favorites. I still refuse to buy into the Tampa Bay hype. I'm sorry. Give me the Raiders plus 4. Even though they might be without Trent Brown, but I don't know how good he is. So Raiders plus 4.
Most momentum Tampa Bay's had all year. I think this offense is scary when it's clicking. Mike Evans didn't even do well last week, and they still popped off. I think this Raiders team is very scoreable. I don't even think that's a word, but they're easy to be scored on. Okay, so you can put up a lot of points on this team. Call it what you want to call it. You can put up a lot of points. Because of all these factors and Derek Carr regressing like we've seen for years now, I'm taking Tampa here -4.
Yeah, I mean, last week we talk about the momentum. A lot of that's coming from the Bucs defense. Like Tom Brady had like 110 yards passing. Like I don't anticipate that Derek Carr is going to give them 20-yard fields very often. Aaron Rodgers, he threw a pick six, and then 2 plays later, he threw a pick that got returned like the 5. So they got 2 points or 2 touchdowns without having to move the ball really. Again, they got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the outside returning from these nitpicky injuries. I think the Raiders just find ways to stay in these games and then win. So give me the Raiders. John Gruden, he's got knock on wood if you're with me.
Yeah, I'm looking at this game, and I actually have it. You said a 4-point spread. I have a 3.5-point spread here. Or actually a 3-point spread. Buccaneers favored by 3, and that's my pick because I'm sensing a Super Bowl 37 redux here. Dominant Tampa Bay defense, good Raiders team, but I think they're gonna do the same thing they did to Rodgers last week. I think they're gonna pick off Carr 3 times. Maybe one of them gets returned. I see them putting up massive numbers because the defense puts them in an amazing field position. And the offense obviously is clicking. I mean, he finally connected with Gronkowski. Who knows if that starts to come kind of hot streak between those two again. The Raiders are good, no doubt about it. But I think the Buccaneers are just better in just a little bit. And I think that defense makes it look like it's a lot more than it actually is. So give me Buccaneers by 3.
That's a more comment.
But they're kind of covered.
Okay, so Curry and I taking the Raiders, Jesse and Alex taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very good defense. Shout out Todd Bowles, the one that got away. Adam Gase is better. Next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are 7.5-point favorites. I feel that I'm being begged to take Jacksonville here. That's a really big line to give the Chargers. That being said, Chargers coming off a bye. Jags, I think, are full tank mode, so give me the Chargers -7.5.
Give me the Chargers -7.5. You stated it so eloquently. The Jags are full tank mode. Gardner can't hit the side of a barnyard. As a DJ Chark owner, it's tough to watch, and that defense stinks. So give me Chargers -7.5 here.
Yeah, give me the Chargers as well. I think, again, it's a big line for a team like the Chargers that really just isn't that good. But the Jags stink. Week 1, they pulled out a miracle W, and then it was like, oh, are they really tanking? Are they really that bad? And then by now, it's like, okay, they actually suck, and they're not going to do anything. So
the worst bad,
the
the worst type of bad team, kill every suicide pool and then still suck the rest of the year.
So yeah, I'm also going Chargers 7.5, but I think that's because this is going to be that game where he already kind of had that game, but I think this is the game where Justin Herbert throws for 403 tutties, just goes nuts, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, Justin Herbert, maybe he was the best quarterback in the draft." Yada yada yada, and then it's like, well, he played the Jaguars, so take it with a grain of salt. But I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan anyway, so I would love to see him do that and then continue that and become a great. So I'm going with Chargers with the San Diego helmets, even though they're kind of similar to the Los Angeles helmets. 7.5 points.
Okay, we're all taking the Chargers. Is that right?
Solidarity.
Universal.
We got 4 more games and not a lot of time, so let's run through this. Kansas City Chiefs at Denver Broncos. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. Chiefs play down to the level of their competition, I feel, when it's a bad team. So give me the Broncos +9.5. Too big of a number.
Mortal lock here. Denver Broncos cover big time.
No.
+9.5. Every public darling is going to be on this game. And you are going to look like a high IQ genius here because no one in their right mind is taking Denver. So give me Denver here solely because of the way the money lies in this game.
No, give me the Chiefs. I hate all those reasons you just listed, so give me the Chiefs. They're a much better team. Denver's a bad team. Chiefs are a good team, so give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is bare bones, nothing to it. You're gonna, you say high IQ, I say something completely different. You're gonna go with the Denver Broncos here. No offense to you, it's not personal. It's just Denver Broncos pretty bad.
It's all good. We'll see what happens Sunday.
Okay,
Ranger helmet.
Jesse and I taking the Broncos. Curry and Alex
yourself out of a pick right there.
Taking the Chiefs. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers at the New England Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. Pats looked so bad last week, and Niners kind of came back to life. Seems like a Bill win it big kind of game, but the Niners are good. We need to go quick. Pats -2.5.
San Francisco +2.5. George Kittle, love you. Jimmy G is back. That defense is getting healthier and healthier. San Francisco.
Give me the Pats. Again, like Sam said, Bill Belichick, he was playing dead last week, I think. Now he comes alive. Give me the Pats.
I actually got this game at a 1.5-point spread, so I'm going with that, and I'm going with the 49ers to cover. I think Bill Belichick's a fraud. That's it.
Just so we're clear, you get our spread. So whatever team you pick, you're getting our spread. For the record.
Sure, whatever, dude. Whatever. That's fine.
It's
the same site you told me to.
Yeah.
You told me FanDuel. I went on FanDuel.
I'm reading off FanDuel right now, so the line must have moved. So the Pats is just
San Francisco.
Is me and Curry? Me and Curry take the Pats. Jesse and Alex taking the Niners. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. I don't know. Seahawks -3.5.
Weird road team, Seattle. I think Russell's got some psych out shit on the road, and Kyler's looking as good as he ever did. His mojo's back. Give me Cardinals all day.
Give me the Cardinals as well. Just give me the Cardinals. I don't know. They're a bird team. Give me a bird team.
Solid logic.
And that's why we have Curry. The Curry difference right there.
The Seahawks are also a bird. I don't know if you know that or not. This is the kind of game where
Curry difference.
This is the kind of game where everybody gets hyped because Kyler Murray's looking good, and I like Kyler Murray a lot too. I have no problem with him. I think he's good. I like the Cardinals. is this game where it's like, oh, hey, well, one of the big giants of the NFL going against scrappy young Cardinals, and it's like, can the Cardinals pull off the upset? No, give me the Seahawks by 14 points.
Okay, Seahawks for myself and Alex. Jesse, who'd you take?
I took Cardinals.
Okay, so Cardinals for Jesse and Curry. Monday Night Football, we have the Chicago Bears at the Los Angeles Rams. Chicago Bears, pretty good at football. My mortal lock,
Absolutely
Chicago
not.
Bears, plus 6 points. Way too many points to give the Bears. Rams are around the same caliber as the Bears. I just harken back to when the Rams were the talk of the town a couple of years ago, and the Bears absolutely stomped their face in. So give me more of that. Bears plus 6. Mortal lock.
I actually do agree with you. I thought that was an outrageous pick at first, but that was a very sweetient take. So I'll ride that take with you. Bears plus 6, you said?
What was that word you just said? Yeah, Bears plus 6.
Sweetient.
Sweetient.
Google it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
No,
All right. Make
I
fun
think
of me.
that-
It's a real word.
I
Sure.
think the Rams are like an average of teams they come in terms of like talent on paper. Like Jared Goff, very vanilla quarterback. Like I think if they play well, they win. If they don't, they lose. Like they don't have enough talent to win if they don't play well. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Yeah. So give me the Bears. I think the Bears are a better team.
Yeah, so this game is basically, I think, just like the ugly and pretty stepsister. Like the Rams are just a pretty version of the Bears, and the Bears are just an ugly version of the Rams. It makes no sense to me.
I agree with that.
And I don't know,
Good
like
analogy.
I just this game is it's gonna be like a dumb game. It's gonna be like everyone's like, oh, maybe like a big like 35-30, maybe, or like I'm going like 16-12 type of thing.
16-14. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going 16-12. I'm going with the Bears to cover.
So we're all taking the Bears. Don't love that. My mortal lock, Bears plus 6. We have a couple minutes
Don't
left.
love that.
We have a couple minutes left. Alex, are the Dodgers winning the World Series?
Maybe.
My thing
I
about the
said that-
Dodgers is they're not respecting the opponent. I can't believe they went with a bullpen game. You got to pitch
Out of
Bueller.
Nowhere, though. Like
Got to go with Bueller,
I
man.
expected
This
to-
is the World Series.
This isn't news. This isn't new. This is Dave Roberts. This is the world of Dave Roberts. He says, "Okay, our bullpen is really good. It's the best in baseball." It's not. So let's put it out there and start all of game 2. That'll go well.
Yeah, questionable
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
honestly,
I
you
don't
need
get it.
some
I still think they
enthusiasm.
pull it out. Don't get me wrong, but you can't be giving up games like that. That's ridiculous.
Against Snell, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't think it's giving up a game. He thinks it's the
Bueller's
They
bullpen
actually
could be good enough to be a
yeah.
starter.
If it's huge.
Okay, right before we leave on the season, Sam 51-36-2, Jesse 39-48-2, Curry 41-46-2. I'm getting too hot. I'm gonna have a big letdown week. I'm gonna go like 2-12 this week. I feel like.
Have you been betting every game? I know you
I'm
put
nervous.
a low amount of money on every game.
I bet all my games and put
Yeah.
more on the mortal lock than.
So you're basically like Jeff Bezos at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
God
we're about
bless
to
you.
run out of time. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for
All right.
tuning in.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.